Previously on Film Noir.
He's me from an evil alternate dimension.
He had me review Spy Kids 3, Jim.
Oh, holy hell. I reviewed the tie-in game for that movie.
If he started to branch out to other critics, then that could mean...
And that's why, while Undertale is a good game, it's just not as good as Shower with Your Dad Simulator 2015.
Hello, James.
Oh, hi, DeMoss. Wait, which one are you again?
I'm the one that will make all your dreams come true.
All my dreams, eh? Including that one where I empty a house out and then fill it to the rooftop complete with Cheetos, a 55-gallon tub of Ovaltine-flavored lube, and 26 women of substandard so I have a different person to corrupt every 2 weeks?
Yes, even that one. Apple. It's evil.
You're trying to give fruit to a fat guy. That is evil. But is it making iPhones with slave labor evil?
Even eviler.
Gimme, 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 gimme!
I'll get you, my pretties, and your faith in Sam Raimi's directing skills, too!
Oz the Great and Powerful. We all know the story of Dorothy Gale and her journey to see the wonderful Wizard of Oz. Well, this is a story about how the wizard himself got his start.
Produced by Disney, which has been trying to produce an Oz movie since before the first one came out in 1939. For various reasons, it never really worked out until 2013, and how well it worked out remains an open question. Personally, I blame the Gnome King. Dude's always up to something.
We open, of course, on the credits. And no, I didn't get a non-anamorphic rip of the film. That's the look for the first 20 minutes. The black and white, I understand, but square? Movie theater screens were just shaped like that back then. It wasn't stylistic. Ah well. The movie truly starts at the Baum Brothers Circus, where we see one of the performers preparing his act. The great and powerful Oz is played by James Franco. That choice is highly questionable.
Apparently, he was everyone's big third choice, after Iron Man, who turned it down because he's already Iron Man, and Johnny Depp, who turned it down so he could go play Tonto. So Sam Raimi was all like, "Hey Franco, you want a job?" And the silver screen's first Harry Osborn said yes, though based on his performance, I think somebody might have let him know that he was everyone's big third choice.
Playing Angel's Advocate here, it has been a while since I've seen this movie. I want to give him another chance.
This belonged to my grandmother.
Your grandmother?
Yes. She was killed in battle. Poor thing.
Which battle?
You've heard of the Battle of Kreplach?
No.
No? Good. That's where she died.
Wow. I hate him already.
Showtime falls upon our patrons, and you get about the same level of enthusiasm out of Oz that you get from your average high school actor.
Rise as your spirit.
I see a wire!
Wire? What need have I of wires? Frank!
Though credit to the man for including skepticism as a part of his act. A little too effectively, even.
Make me walk!
Make the girl walk. Make the kid walk.
I would make her walk, of course, but unfortunately there is a distemper in the ether tonight.
Make the kid walk, you big phony.
He's a circus performer, not Jesus Christ. Even the best performer should know when it's time to be frank with the audience, especially when that audience is full of good church-going men who are currently buying into textbook blasphemy. If anything, you should turn their hypocrisy against them.
Alas, this awkwardness is necessary, so that this line can blatantly foreshadow a future Ozian character.
I didn't really think it was that bad.
Of course not. You're just a trained monkey.
After the show, Oz gets a visit from an old friend. Yes, he does have at least one. It's Annie, who's here to tell him of her impending nuptials.
John Gale asked me to marry him. I said I had to think about it.
No, you could do a lot worse than John Gale. He's a good man.
No. Wrong answer. The correct answer involves you getting down on one knee right now. If she just wanted kudos, she could have just sent you an invitation like everybody else. But all this flies right by our future wizard, who's too busy talking about a subject much nearer and dearer to his heart. Himself.
See, Kansas is full of good men. Church-going men that get married and raise families. Men like John Gale. I don't want to be a good man, I want to be a great one.
Well, if that's your life's ambition, maybe you shouldn't try to court every other girl you meet, especially if one of those girls is your co-worker's wife.
I'm gonna rip him in half!
Oz flees in a hot air balloon and gets swept up into an oncoming tornado, without getting totally decimated.
You know, the Oz books present a wide variety of natural disasters that'll get you to the magical land. Not just the tornado. Familiarity is a necessary evil with any franchise reboot, but you could at least try for some innovation.
I don't want to die! I haven't accomplished anything yet!
To the James Franco of 2013, you might as well just check out now, buddy. Things aren't going to get much better.
Even so, I will give the filmmakers and James Franco enough props to fill that hot air balloon basket if they can take this scummy character and give him satisfying character development. Now, like in the original film, the world suddenly becomes colored, in addition to stretching into a widescreen format. Again, the color? I get it. The ratio shift? Not as much.
And yet, it is the Sam Raimiest thing in this whole so-called Sam Raimi movie. So we finally arrive at Oz, combining the background of a Lucky Charms commercial with even more 3D eye candy than they threw at us during the tornado. I can just taste the distraction. And with Danny Elfman's soundtrack reaching peak whimsy, I can squint real hard and almost fool myself into thinking I'm watching a Fantasia sequel instead of an Oz prequel.
After a crash landing, Oz is greeted by Theodora, played by Mila Kunis. In this crazy little thing we call life, there are certainly much worse greetings to be had than Mila Kunis.
You're in Oz.
That's my name.
Oh, the king's prophecy was true. He said that a great wizard bearing the name of our land will descend from the heavens and save us all. And here you are.
Oh, girl, you on the path to the dark side. Even if my friends hadn't already spoiled this movie for me, that eye makeup and those pants tell me everything I need to know.
You're to claim your throne.
Claim my throne. In a palace with a crown and a scepter.
There's more gold than you could ever imagine. And Oz will now be what it once was. Because you are the wizard, aren't you?
Yes.
Should I be more angry because Oz is scum or because Theodora is dense? It's a tough call. The movie tries to compensate for this idiotic dilemma by showing Oz using his parlor tricks in very logical ways to ward off aggressors, saving Theodora and Zach Braff the monkey in the process.
You were afraid?
Yes. Something might happen to you.
Ugh. Bastard's laying it on so thick you can't even taste the bread.
I hereby swear a life debt to you.
No need.
From this moment on, I shall be your loyal and faithful servant until death.
And there's no getting out of it?
None, sir. It is irrevocable.
Good. Because I'm not the wizard.
Well, you could have told me before I sealed the life debt.
It's too late.
And we have now officially retconned Oz's character.
I'm a very good man. I'm just a very bad wizard.
Wrong once again. Turns out he's a bad wizard and an even worse man. But you know what? All this shit might be a little easier to take if Theodora weren't slurping down every loving spoonful.
You are gonna make the best king Oz has ever known.
Thank you.
And I will be so proud to be your queen.
The posse approaches the Emerald City and is greeted by a witch named Evanora, played by Rachel Weisz.
He is the wizard.
The wizard, or so he says. Did it not occur to you that he might be an imposter?
And apparently, Evanora is the only one who isn't fooled by Oz's connish ways.
Hey, that's not true. What about my man Nuck over here? He had the same reaction to Oz that we did.
This is the wizard?
Is there a problem?
Yeah.
Regardless, we know Evanora's evil because of her feathers and bling. Apparently the costume department must have missed a memo about this whole plot twist thing.
Carrying herself as a royal advisor, Evanora gives Oz the 5-cent tour, concluding with the royal treasure room.
It's mine! Oh, no more second-hand suits for you, baby! Nothing but the silks and satins!
Evanora tells Oz, "All these things I shall give to thee." And he doesn't even have to bow down and worship her. All he has to do is go kill a wicked witch.
I'm just not too keen on killing a lady.
She's not a lady. She's a wicked witch.
So that's where you draw the line? Conning your way across the Midwest, leaving a trail of broken hearts behind you? That's fine. Passing yourself off as a prophesized savior in a transparent attempt to con an entire kingdom? Not a second thought given. But one teeny little murder?
Murder for hire, no less. The Wonderful Hitman of Oz doesn't exactly scream children's fantasy classic to me. But then again, I'm not a Disney munchkin, and if you are...
I'm your wizard.
As in the classic film, now that our main character's gotten charged with a quest, it's time to wander the yellow brick road and amass a small, dedicated band of whimsical allies. The first is, surprisingly, quite effective. Adding trampling all over the recently deceased to his list of scummy behavior.
Holy crap, forget what I said earlier. That is the Sam Raimiest thing in this Sam Raimi movie. Like, ugh. Gives me the shivers just thinking about it.
There is one survivor amidst the wreckage. A China doll with broken legs played by Joey King, whom you might remember from such roles as the girl in the wheelchair in the beginning of the movie.
What is that?
Magic in a bottle.
Magic?
All right.
You did it. Thank you.
Sorry, man. It's hard to keep it together watching this part.
No, it's cool. A decent scene in an otherwise rote, mechanical prequel emotionally affected you. Make no mistake, this is a capital G, capital T good thing. For this, too, is Sam Raimi, the man who gave us Darkman. And when he wants to get his audience with an emotional gut punch, he leans all the way in. And I love him for it.
Me too.
Let's go kill ourselves a witch.
Okay. That was a little unexpected.
That also made China Doll my new favorite character. I say, give her a chainsaw arm and a tiny shotgun, turn her loose. Instead, our sadly unarmed heroes journey through the dark forest. And I'm once again slapped in the face by the fact this was a 3D movie, even though I'm watching it in 2D. Earlier generations of 3D movie had this same bad habit of shoving shit right in the camera. Only nowadays, the shit they shove your way is transparently CGI, adding another extra special level of fakery to an already fake effect.
Miraculously surviving, our heroes reach a cemetery that looks more Tim Burton than Sam Raimi, where the so-called Wicked Witch is playing groundskeeper. Thanks to the monkey's nonsensical distraction, Oz grabs the witch's wand, only to discover A, she's played by the same actress as his one friend, Annie, and B,
I'm Glinda the Good, the Witch of the South.
Wait a minute.
I'm Glinda, the Witch of the North.
Indeed, your confusion flows from the fact that there are actually two good witches in the original Oz novel. The original Good Witch of the North was named Lucasta, and both cinematic Glindas are a fusion of these characters.
So there really was a Witch of the South, but she's just not in the movie?
Exactly! That's my whole issue with this flick. It's not like the wonderful world of Oz was really hurting for a rich and intricate backstory. For one thing, they had a monarchy, with all the intrigue and power politics that implies, before the four wicked witches united to overthrow the king through politics by other means, creating a power vacuum that any con man from Omaha could just stroll right into and declare himself the wizard.
Is that not kinda what this movie is?
Yeah, same way Darth Vader kinda betrayed and murdered Luke's father.
And even worse, if that's even possible at this point, it creates a needless moment of confusion for those only familiar with the original movie. We've never seen the Wicked Witches of the South or North, nor do we have any idea about the land's history until Glinda explains it to us here.
Evanora is the true Wicked Witch. She's fooled most everyone, including her own sister. She made everyone believe that I poisoned my father.
Oh, for Ozma's sake. Glinda was many things, but she was never the old dead king's daughter. And I was just about to compliment this production on doing the bare minimum of research, but now they're just making shit up to piss me off. I don't know who to trust anymore.
Speaking of trust, back at the Emerald Palace, Evanora uses Oz's scummy trope against Theodora, creating a fake music box to go along with the fake story of Oz seducing her with it.
Sister, you were right about him. He is the great wizard. He must be, to make me feel the way I feel.
Despite it being a lie, it's almost hard to hate Evanora on this because all she's doing is looking out for the well-being of her little sister.
I said I would be his queen.
Are you quite sure it wasn't you who said it to him?
Oh, well, never mind that then. Evanora's just tempting the innate darkness in Theodora's heart.
Back at the cemetery, our heroes are attacked by flying monkeys. Glinda uses fog to distract them before spiriting everyone away with a much more familiar magic trick of hers.
You needn't worry, wizard. It's a magic wall, and all good-hearted souls get to pass through.
I'm gonna die!
Fear not, dear Franco. There was never any future for you.
I'm not usually the type to drink, but if I were, this would be why.
Yeah, I get why Novel Oz couldn't be in this movie. He was too much of an actual con man to be a Disney protagonist. But that doesn't stop this movie from trying to run a long con on all of us. And like all of the best, it distracts us by running a short con. Hey, it says, watch this scumbag redeem himself through friendship and the healing power of love, naturally. And we're all supposed to sit back and go, yep, he sure is a scumbag. And while we're busy hating him, we're not supposed to notice this movie take a hatchet to one of the 20th century's top 3 fantasy lands. Even as the movie's makers swear up and down they have nothing but love and respect for the source material. It's like a guy challenging you to 3-card Monty so his friend can sneak up behind you and steal your wallet.
Oz meets the good-hearted citizens of Oz, and suddenly feels he might not be up to snuff to earn those rewards his black heart craves.
I might not actually be a wizard.
Yes, I know. I can also tell you're weak, selfish, slightly egotistical, and a fibber.
That's 3 people who could see through Oz in the space of a conversation. Nuck's still the man, though. He did it without any magic powers.
But apparently, Glinda still wants him to convince the people he's the wizard.
If you can make them believe, then you're wizard enough.
Her people are so desperate, Glinda will sell for something that looks like a fighting chance for salvation.
I still get that gold.
Why do I even bother?
Don't lose hope yet, Detective.
One bite and your heart will become impenetrable.
You're the wicked one, not Glinda. I want him to see me like this. I want him to know that he was the one who made me this way.
Never mind. As you were.
Yep, there they go. My hopes are gone. The Wicked Witch of the West, one of the most popular, iconic villains of 20th century film and literature, becomes yet another woman scorned in this 21st century prequel.
And a dumb one, too. God, even sheltered royal girls should know enough to spot a con man like Ozzy coming a mile away. Did someone just really hate Wicked? Because I kind of love the book. Not as much as some, but still. Never seen the musical, though. Nor have I been dragged to it against my will by a social group. If I had been, and if I hated it, and if I'd never read the book, yeah, I can kind of see making an Oz prequel like this. But that's a lot of ifs.
Oz meets his army for the final battle, becoming both impressed and underwhelmed very quickly.
Do you honestly believe that they can kill a wicked witch and an army of flying baboons?
The good people of Oz are forbidden to kill.
You want me to lead an army that can't kill?
If this was easy, we wouldn't need a wizard, would we?
Ordinarily, I'd rage, but this is the magical land where you defeat a witch by doing this. Speak of the shrill-voiced devil, we get our first good look at Mila Kunis as the Wicked Witch.
Don't you recognize me, wizard? Have I changed so much?
Arguably, the biggest sin that can be committed by an actor or actress is to make it obvious to their audience that they're acting. And in spite of all the heavy makeup, I can see Mila Kunis all too clearly through that performance.
Trying to con his way to victory by stealing a page out of the Dark Knight.
I know I'm not the wizard that you were expecting, but I might just be the wizard that you need.
Oz instructs the villagers to construct defenses against the witches to the best of their non-lethal abilities.
What is your business here?
We bring supplies for battle.
Where are your papers of transit?
Why this delay? Do you not recognize me? I'm Nuck, the city herald.
Sir, I'm just trying to do my... Let them pass!
Let them pass.
That, right there, got Bruce Campbell's name in the opening credits. Oh, by the way, hey kids, Bruce Campbell cameo in a Sam Raimi movie. Drink.
Not bad, although the use of fog should have been a big red flag for the witches. As can be expected for a climax, things don't go as planned. Glinda gets captured, Oz fills up the hot air balloon with gold, and tries to make his escape.
How predictable.
Thank you, Theodora. Been saying that to the screen for an hour and 45 minutes by now.
Fear me not, for it is I, the great and powerful Wizard of Oz!
Now this, I like a lot. Apart from using the iconic Oz imagery of a big head in smoke, this whole climax is an illustration of how well Oz is using his skills as a con man.
Can he trick us into believing Mila Kunis is a credible threat as a villain? I wonder. Not that it matters, since he banishes her, with the promise that she can come back one day if she learns not to be mean to anyone. And as for Evanora, wizard duel.
Look what you've done to me!
How everyone will see you as you truly are.
And in the end, things finally come back around to the best-known Oz cliché, as the wizard hands out gifts to all his friends. And much like our wizard, his gifts kinda suck.
My lucky thingamajig. May it assist you in the reconstruction of the Emerald City. Something that where I come from can turn the saddest day into a happy one.
I don't want that.
It is yours.
Take it back.
I cannot. And I want to thank you for opening my eyes.
For the record, I knew you had it in you all along.
Greatness.
No. Better than that. Goodness.
All evidence to the contrary.
The movie finally ends with a kiss between Glinda and Oz, making me wonder in the original movie why Oz took a hot air balloon flight away from his lady friend, but I digress. At least Nook gets a fanfare.
That's my man. Well, detective, guess it's time to do the old Siskel and Ebert point-counterpoint routine.
I guess so. I'm feeling profound disappointment, so I guess that would mean you're up to bat for utter disgust, right?
Shit. There goes that. We're in complete agreement, my friend.
The last time I watched this movie was when it came out in theaters, and I have to say, upon watching it a second time,
Not so great and powerful, after all.
there are a couple of solid moments, meeting the China girl, the film's climax, and the logic applied to how Oz uses his parlor tricks throughout the movie. But mostly, the rest just feels clumsy. A lot of its roles are miscast, the character motivations are paper thin and petty, and even the compliments I gave it doesn't help much when the main character you're following through most of the movie is a complete scumbag. And I don't mean the lovable kind like good old Grunkle Stan from Gravity Falls. Oh, God, no! I'm remembering it again! Why did that show have to end so soon?
I'll take it for a few seconds then. Even for a prequel, this is an entirely predictable, workshop-to-death fantasy action film that just so happens to slander one of the greatest witches in the history of cinema. It does to the wizard and Oz what Tim Burton did to Alice in Wonderland. It's too damn normal. Not nearly weird enough to be an Oz movie, to say nothing of a Sam Raimi movie. It's a Frankenstein of barely cohesive ideas, seemingly thrown out in the awkward silence between board meetings. The person who threw them out probably wasn't even being serious, but then Bob Iger pointed at them and said, "Yes, that! Go with it!" And no one ever looked back.
Well, who can blame them? Looking back on this movie is hardly an easy task. And yet that's what I have to do now to talk about its plot holes.
Why was Theodora not burned by water during her first few scenes?
This is basic Ozian knowledge completely shafted in order to save one scene. Might even call that emblematic of the movie as a whole.
After realizing her sister's betrayal, why didn't Theodora turn against Evanora?
The apple was meant to remove all of the positive elements of Theodora's personality, allowing her to succumb to her supposed destiny of wickedness. But if we're going with that, would it not be emblematic of a wicked witch to immediately turn on the person who'd so viciously manipulated them?
If you're ever going to watch this movie, make it only once. Better yet, make this review the only time you ever watch it, because watching it twice and reviewing it has ensured its permanent residence in my brain.
Don't be so sure, detective. Ah. Oh, man. Oh. Steve. What's up?
Well, DeMoss, you and I just reviewed Oz the Great and Powerful.
Then why don't I remember it?
You tried to wipe my mind Men in Black style, but because of these, it backfired on you.
Ah, the glasses, of course. Those things don't let you forget, do they?
This is my gift. And my curse.
Well, I know it's not your style, but you can always do what I do.
There's a happy thought.
Cheers, brother.
This is the wizard?
Is there a problem?
Yeah.